Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spill the Tea Radio, where we interview awesome singers, songwriters, and those who influence their lives. Spill the Tea Radio explores the journey, creativity, and inspiration behind the songs. My next guest is a Canadian Screen Awards Gemini winner and one of Canada's most accomplished producers, composers, musicians, and musical directors. His original music and performances are featured on soundtracks and recordings from some of Canada's biggest stars, and he has contributed playing arrangements and productions to several Grammy-winning albums. In 1980, he received a call from David Clayton-Thomas to join the seminal jazz rock group Blood, Sweat, and Tears and toured the world. So let's spill the tea with Lou Pomanti. Welcome, Lou.
Hello, David.
Well, Lou, thanks for coming back on the show. Today's show, we are going to examine some of the hit songs, the Billboard hits, the platinum, the multi-platinum recordings that you have been involved with. But first, I want to ask you a question that is, burning in the minds of many young musicians that we come across. You come across many more of them than I do, but I know that it's a burning question for them. And I'm going to use Robin Black as an example because the song we're featuring today is a song that you and Robin wrote together. Now, we know that Robin was on the show before. We talked about her profession. She's a teacher. She is a teacher that works with kids with special needs. It's an honorable profession. She's been doing it for years. She loves doing it. But what does it take for a Robin Black? And there's no question she's got talent. She's got a voice. What does it take for a Robin Black type that has a profession already, but they want to transition to a full-time musician? What do they need to do to get there?
In my entire life, I have always lived by one phrase, and that is jump and a net will appear.
It's a good one.
I never had a plan B when I started. The advice I give to young people is when they tell me they want to go into a career in music, my very first reaction is to try to talk them out of it, because it's my firm belief that only those that cannot be talked out of it are even going to have a chance at making a living and having a lifelong career in music. There are so many people out there that are just devoted to having a career in music that if you're going in with the plan B, my guess is you're going to end up with spending your life doing plan B. I never had a plan B. I was lucky. But it's such a competitive industry. My advice is either all in or just accept music as a hobby. Mm-hmm.
Now, you mentioned Michael Bublé. It's a great segue into talking about the work that you've done with Michael Bublé and other great artists. So let's start with the big one. Michael Bublé has had 6 multi-platinum records to his credit. You arranged the orchestra for Michael Bublé's smash hit "Haven't Met You Yet," which has sold over 7 million copies worldwide. Probably many, many more since this information was available to us. And you've done, according to the research that I have, 8 other arrangements for Bublé to date. Tell us, what's the secret sauce for a song like "Haven't Met You Yet"? I mean, why was that one such a massive hit?
Well, here's the funny thing. I honestly believe that when you're in the studio and you're working on a record, you don't really know which one's going to be the smash. So I was working on 6 songs on that Crazy Love album, and Haven't Met You Yet was just another one of the 6. It didn't stand out to us as being the single or Michael's biggest single ever. We just worked on it and loved it like all the rest of the songs. So we didn't know until I think the record company picked it as the single, and off it went. And then he debuted it on the Oprah Winfrey Show. And I've never seen anything that I've ever worked on uh, take off like a rocket ship, like that one. It was everywhere. I went to Japan, it was everywhere. In Japan, everywhere. It was just, you couldn't escape it. Um, I worked on 8 Michael Bublé tracks in total, 6 on Crazy Love and 2 on the following album called To Be Loved. But I've worked on a lot of hit records. That happens to be the biggest one and the one that had the biggest budget. Um, all those records were done on the West Coast. They're constantly flying me back and forth, first class Air Canada, staying at a beautiful hotel while I was there, and I had a 34-piece orchestra, a
Mhm.
34-piece string section, and a 6-piece horn section, so 40-piece section that
Wow.
we recorded at Brian Adams' studio in Vancouver called The Warehouse. So it was kind of an unlimited budget. I felt a little bit like Jed Clampett when I was talking to Brian Allen, Bruce Allen's assistant, and they said, okay, so blah 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 blah, and she said, and then I said, so how many strings can I have? And there was a pause, and she said, how many do you need? And I said, 34. She said, that's fine. Whereas a lot of times in my career in Canada, it's been like, Lou, we want you to write for a string orchestra, and you can have 6 players. And I have to tell them that 6 string players do not sound like an orchestra; they sound like a chamber group. So it was really, really nice to work. I figure we spent $3 million on that album.
Wow.
These days, that's a lot, but I mean, it paid off in
Now,
spades. Wow.
when you said 34 and she said, yeah, no problem, did you say, damn, I should have asked for 38?
No, 34 is fine.
Because then you have to deal with all of those 34 strings and 6 horns as well. Now you've worked on some other great artists, Gordon Lightfoot, Anne Murray,
Yeah,
Kim Mitchell,
yeah,
Triumph and the boys
yeah,
from there.
yeah.
Without upsetting any of the friends that you've made in the industry, what are some of your other stories or most memorable uh, pieces of working on some of these projects?
Well, working on the Gordon Lightfoot album. So the Gordon Lightfoot album's over here. I worked on an album called East at Midnight. That was 86 or 87.
Hmm.
And Gord had recently quit drinking. And we were recording at Eastern Sound in Yorkville, which is no longer there. And Gord was producing himself on the tracks. He had hired David Foster to do the single, but he was producing himself on these tracks. So we were paid double scale, double sessions every day. So a 10 to 1 and a 2 to 5. And the whole band live off the floor. So there were 2 keyboard players, drums, bass, guitar, two guitars and 2 keyboards. Anyway, the reason why I got the gig is because Doug Riley quit. He said, I can't do this anymore. And this is why. So we'd show up in the morning and he says, okay, today we're going to do this song. We rarely did more than one song a day. And we play it and we play it once and we play it twice. We play it 5 times and we play it 10 times. And then he'd go, okay, hand in your charts and go take a 15-minute break. I'm going to make a few changes on the paper. Now, Gord, unlike most folk artists, knew how to read and write music. When he was a young guy, he famously went to Dick Grove School of Music in LA. And that's very rare for a folk guy to be able to read and write. So he writes his own charts and everything. So we'd take our break. We'd come back. Gord had made all the changes and all stuff. We played again. It'd be lunch. We'd take an hour for lunch. We'd come back after lunch and continue to be playing the same song over and over again, like a lot of times. About halfway through the afternoon on the first day, he goes, after a take, he says, guys, That was perfect. Let's try it again. And the reason why he did this, of course, is because as long as he was in the studio making his record, he wasn't drinking or getting high, and he was desperately trying to stay sober.
We have time for one more story, Lou.
Here's a quick story about Helix. You know
Oh,
Helix, eh?
Helix. Yeah, yeah, sure,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I played on one of their records too. So I get called into phase one to do a synth overdub session on a Helix record. And I get there, and all the Helix dudes are there. And they're like, they've never had a keyboard on a Helix album. So they're all like standing around the keyboard, my Jupiter 8, looking at it, going, oh wow, this is cool, man. We got a synth on our record. This is going to be cool. And one of the guys said, do you want anything? I said, a coffee would be great. So I think it was Paul, the guitarist, went and got me a coffee, put it back, and I took a couple of sips and I put it next to me and I'm playing, and they all start giggling and they all start laughing. And I go, what's so funny? He said, Paul put acid in your coffee. Anyways, to make a long story short, they were messing with me. They didn't put acid in my coffee, but I kind of freaked out. I kind
you
of freaked out for a
you were
while.
waiting for it to kick in.
Oh my God. I'm still waiting. Yeah.
Let's get
Yeah.
into one of the songs that you wrote along
Great.
with Robin Black. So this song was released in 2024, and we'd like to take a listen to it now. So let's take a listen to singer, songwriter, producer Lou Pomanti and his partner on this record, Robin Black, and Walking on the Moon.
Baby, you're the force of gravity. Yeah, you got me hooked. I feel your fire take control of me. Like an earthquake, you got me shook. I'm captivated by your energy. Boy, you got me hypnotized. So let's take this to another galaxy. Boy, you make me want to fly. Ooh, got me walking
That was Walking on the Moon by Lou Pomanti and Robin Black. This song has a very interesting video to go along with it. So,
I did that myself.
did you do that? If you're interested
I
in
did.
seeing the video, go to
To
YouTube
YouTube.
and look it
Yeah.
up, Walking on the Moon. What was the inspiration? First of all, what's the song about, Lou?
Well, lyrically, it's just really a love song. But I mean, I think what's most interesting about that song is the groove. I've always been a genre straddling musician. I like jazz, I like funk, I like R&B, I like soul, and I love soul and funk rhythms with jazz harmony on top of them,
Mm-hmm.
like a Tower of Power or an Earth, Wind and Fire. You know, those kinds of bands. It sounds so sophisticated to me, and it's so much more interesting than the last 15 years. I mean, you would swear there were only four chords in the world.
Lou, how do people find out more about you? Where can they go find what's the website? What are the socials where they can find out more about your music and what you're up to?
It's loupomonti.com, and that will take you everywhere that you need to go. Please follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Insta. And if you'd really like to be kept up to date through my website, send me your email and I'll put you on my mailing list.
We have been in conversation with Lou Pomanti. Lou, thanks for being with us.
Thanks, David.